Welcome back to the channel, guys. We have the Jeep Gladiator inside the garage, and we're gonna figure out what in the world is wrong with it. On the way to pick up the new 392 Hemi for the JK, the Jeep Gladiator started having a horrible cylinder number 2 misfires. Cassie, start it up, show them what it sounds like. You can hear it. The check engine light's on. It's not flashing right now, but if you start driving it, it is flashing, meaning there's an active misfire. I really don't want to drag this video out too long, so I'm gonna open up the engine. The last thing I've really touched on this engine is the coil pack. So we're gonna start over, we're gonna take a look at the coil packs and inspect the spark plugs. At this point, you probably have a few questions. First off, isn't the Jeep under warranty? Technically, yes. I'm under 36,000 miles. I have like 28,000 miles on this 3.6 in the Jeep Gladiator. However, I've done a few modifications to the engine, kind of like performance-wise, all bolt-ons, and the dealerships really don't like that, especially when it comes to a misfire. In the past, I put on a set, actually pretty recently, of the RIPP performance coil packs. A lot of people are saying, hey, those are probably the issue, and that does make the most sense. It's a recent add-on, and of course, if I'm getting a misfire, there's so many things that could cause a misfire. Bad spark plug, bad coil pack, a bad computer, the ECM, could be part of the variable valve timing, the cam. There's so much to a misfire. The fuel injector. I don't think the fuel injector is the issue because it smells like unburnt fuel when I'm running this thing. Cylinders 2, 4, and 6 are kind of hard to get to without removing your entire intake manifold. Everything else that is connected to that. As you guys can see right here, number 2 is right here on the driver's side. That's the one that's having issues. Sadly, I couldn't just swap the coil packs around to see if that made a difference. We had to pull all of this off. So the next step is to pull the coil pack out and see what it looks like. I do have a brand new coil pack from RIPP right here. We're gonna change this out to see if that causes our issues, but I also wanna pull the spark plug out and make sure it's not a mechanical issue. If the spark plug's all broken to pieces, then we know we have issues deeper down inside the engine. Oh, well, that's not a good sign. All right. Okay, so it doesn't look like it actually broke. I think it just kind of pops in there to go together. We have our spring that goes all the way down. That's pretty much it. Nothing too unusual there. Maybe it was kind of unseated in there. Coil pack has no obvious issues. Next thing to do is pull the spark plug out. Spark plug itself looks fine. There's no physical damage, which is good, which means most likely internally nothing's broken. Definitely smells like unburnt fuel. Smell that? That means this was not firing for some reason. My first guess is the coil pack. So let's throw a new RIPP coil pack on there and see if it fixes it. Another thing I'm noticing right now is there's a lot of gunk buildup right around this area, right near this number 2 coil pack. I don't know if you can see it, but it's like an oil, a little layer of oil. Looks like it's coming from this right here. Now, I don't know if this sensor is part of the variable valve timing, but I can tell it's really, really dirty right around here. If you guys know what that is, let me know in the comments. The other side looks a lot cleaner. Who knows what that is? Let's wrap this up. Everything is back together, guys. Let me tell you something. This is not a fun job. It's not that hard, but it is pretty crazy that you have to do all that to get to the spark plugs and your coil pack. So those of you with the 3.6, when it's time to do spark plug change, you have to do all this. So the dealer gives you a crazy quote for changing your spark plugs. You know why. It's not too hard to tackle yourself in the garage. But with the coil pack changed, we have to start the Jeep up and see if that fixed the issue. I'm really hoping it does, but then again, I'm hoping it doesn't. I mean, I want it to fix it, but if it was the fact that the RIPP coil pack went bad that quick, like less than 5,000 miles, then I kind of second guessing, you know, because I like how they feel, very peppy. The throttle response is high. Like they do a decent upgrade. Like you can notice them for sure. But if it went bad, then I feel bad for kind of recommending them. Sure, It could be, you know, 1 out of 1,000. I could be some odd guy. I haven't heard anybody else running into these issues with the RIPP coil packs, but, you know, are they worth it if you're gonna be driving and, you know, in the middle of nowhere, they fail on you? I'm not too sure. We'll find out. But if the Jeep is running perfectly fine, now with the new coil pack, it means that yes, the RIPP coil pack was at fault. And then I'm gonna keep running them to see if, you know, down the road, another 5,000 miles, another one goes out. And if that's the case, we're just going back with stock and I won't recommend them. But who knows, you know, we'll give them the benefit of the doubt. We will see if it works. So let's crank it over and see what happens. So much better. So it turns out that the RIPP coil pack was the issue. Now, there is a lot that I kind of want to talk about on this subject because I do like the coil packs, I do want to keep them, but I really don't want to keep running them if every time I make a 6-hour drive, I'm going to end up in the middle of nowhere with a big misfire. So if another one goes out, I'm done with them, but for now, who knows? We're gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. Now, RIPP did send that extra coil pack out to me. Once they saw the video, they're like, hey, here's a coil pack just in case it is bad. But, you know, luckily it was an easy fix. It did suck to tear the entire intake off to get to that, but it kind of leads into a bigger thing that I really wanna talk about. And that's with, you know, aftermarket modifications and warranties. So, you know, in the last video, a lot of people are like, oh, it should be covered under warranty. And in most cases it would be. But if I had taken my Jeep to the dealership with those RIPP coil packs, first of all, they might, you know, they would have been like, you know, it's clearly not gonna be under warranty. And at that point, it would be out of pocket on my expense if I let the dealer come to the conclusion that the RIPP coil packs were at fault. So it's really important to think about when you are doing upgrades to your vehicle, especially performance mods, all these performance upgrades, you have to think about when you do them. Is it something that you are willing to put back to stock in case you do have to go to the dealer, or worst case, kind of figure out on your own? A lot of people don't think about that, and that's something I've never really talked too much about on the channel. It's because it's such a gray area in regards to what mods do what in regards to warranty. But in this case, if I would have taken it in, that would not have been covered. The further you get in modifying your Jeep, the more you're gonna have to rely on yourself to fix your own issues. So, you know, for the Gladiator, I'm trying to keep it a very simple build. I don't want to do anything too crazy, and right now, I'm really happy where it's at. It's kind of crazy. A lot of people are getting rid of their Gladiators. I don't know. I really do enjoy it. Hopefully in the future, we can turn it into like a cooler rock crawler, maybe put a Hemi in there. We will see about that. Now, as for the Hemi swaps, haven't made much progress on the 392 for the JK. Still really have to kind of plan out what exactly I want to do. The last video I mentioned, I'm not going to be able to use this transmission. This is for a 2012 to 2018 JK, completely plug and play. Same with the transfer case. A lot of people were talking, asking me, hey, can I buy that? It's not for sale yet. I want to get all the paperwork on it. It is a built transmission, so I want to make sure whoever buys it actually has all the info on that. So I'll let you guys know what the plan is for that. As for Cassie's V8 swap, the LS and her LJ, that's coming along really good. It's a very, very clean engine now. We did change a lot of stuff. She covered it all on her channel, but the engine portion is pretty much good to go. We have some other cool parts coming in for that swap. So the plan is to LS swap her Jeep first, to get that out of the way before we start the Hemi swap on the JK. You know, the last video I was like, oh, I don't know if it's gonna go in the Gladiator or the JK, but you know, the Gladiator's good now, so we're gonna keep it in the JK. Plus, the JK needs it, guys. It's built so much, 40s, 1-tons, it needs that extra power to really be fun to drive. Now, we have over here some stuff for Cassie's LS swap. We have our engine brackets, little clamshell mounts, and some other good stuff. Trying out never seen anybody run these. These are the Holley engine mounts. Definitely pretty unique. There's a few on the market, and I think that's like one of your like 4 or 5 options. So stay tuned for that. Cassie's mostly covering that on her channel, but yes, we do have a lot of like engine swaps coming up. I mean, for now we have 2. You know, down the road, hopefully we can eventually V8 swap the Gladiator, but that is 2 engine swaps alone is enough right now. I don't want to throw any more on my plate or my wallet, but we definitely have a lot of cool stuff going on. Hopefully you guys have seen the Charger videos on Cassie's channel. We got a fresh set for that. Take it out to the track, have some fun, do some small upgrades. But that is enough talking. Hopefully you guys can see we have a lot of really cool projects coming up, so stay tuned for all those. And for this video, I didn't know how far it would go. Luckily it was just the coil pack, but who knows, I was kind of like, I was expecting it to maybe get to the point where it was like an internal engine thing and we'll really have to dive into it. But The main takeaway from this video, guys, is learn how to wrench on your own Jeep, especially if you start doing aftermarket upgrades and whatnot. It's just gonna cost you a little bit less in the long run, plus you never know when you have to work on your own Jeep. Until the next time, guys, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys later.